Perfect. Hello there, Humayun. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Humayun Irshad is the director of ML at PhotoDay. What can you tell me about PhotoDay?
PhotoDay is working on volume photography industry. So we are building a cloud-based solutions for students and photographers where they can customize their photographs to upsell to their user with enhanced quality.
So essentially, the way that I understood it, it's like Shopify, but specifically for photographers that do
Yes.
high volume, but with a lot of photo enhancing features and also a lot of different very specific industry specific stuff that helps them sell more pictures.
Yes.
Essentially, perfect.
With additional values.
Yeah, obviously. So, could you tell me about how you were thinking about PhotoDay in terms of definitely there is a, a lot of adoption of AI in the photo editing space. And to stand out, you have to think creatively, right? And like deliver some sort of technological feat that like some other app does not have. Like how was your approach to think about like here are the features that we need to build and this is what we need to deliver and this is how we're going to go about it?
So there are two aspects. The first one is whatever the current industry are using in volume photography. So mostly they're using the artists to do the post-processing on the photographs to make it better experience for the user. The other one is the new way to innovate in this industry to come up with new type of enhancement, feature enhancement, or create some values around those photographs so that user can inspire and they tend to buy more photos. So we handle it two separately. The first one is our main concern where we just want to give them all the photographers and studios that value where we don't need to wait for the artist to work on those photographs. So they can get these photographs quicker with AI. And on the other side, so we're exploring what are the other additional values we can create by doing some AI based post processing on those photographs to create some new values out of that.
So it's like automatic retouching, color correction, all that kind of stuff. Interesting. And so if you were to say, because AI industry is evolving very quickly, but then if you look at, and these are not competitors to you, but you look at, let's say, Pixar, and then Pixar introduces a feature, Canva copies the feature, and then the third app copies the feature afterwards. And so this is a very fast moving field. It seems like what niche that you have is like specifically when you do high volume photography and for specific things like yearbooks, what. So within that niche, still like what are very specific challenges infrastructurally to you that maybe these other photo editing companies do not have?
So those like Pixar, Adobe, other similar tools. So even though they have a lot of features inside built-in, but they still need human to do some customizations. So it's not like you can send and then you get whatever you want. So in our case, so we want that there's no interaction from the human. So we can give these photographs and we check that we need these things and then we get that done. So there's no interactive way of editing those photos.
Interesting. And how do you, so if you can share, how do you approach training those models? So essentially when people are using your service, you can train the models on the data that they share. Is that accurate? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. And so do you find yourself needing to maybe adjust the models or retrain the data based on some specificities of like, I don't know,
okay.
regions?
So in our industries, there are a lot of variations in photographies. So even photographies, sports photographies, school, college, or university photography, and there are other ways like.
And so that's everything is a different model, is what you're saying.
Not different models, but there's a huge amount of variations in this space. And then there are portraits, group photos, and then there are indoor, outdoors with different type of like background settings, photographs. So all these variations in the photography, how we can come up with one minimum models to deal with these things. So that's one challenge that we are facing.
Interesting.
It's like, just for giving you example about
Yeah.
the retouching. So in some cases, retouching of face with portrait and with group photos, indoor and outdoor with different lightnings, with different background settings, poster or banners. So it gives us different challenges for the models. Okay. So another thing is for retouchings, one is only skin retouching. Some people want only skin retouching. They don't want like teeth whitening, braces removal, or glass glare removals. Some users want everything. So there are like ton of different variations in from the user expectation or from the photographer's sides. So how we can deal with all these variations at the same time.
Interesting. A lot of what you said, it sounds like, okay, so we have, scene detection, object detection, the stuff like that. And then, you're applying styles and, you're doing a lot of interesting work in the background. But it sounds very formulaic. And what I wonder is, are you building maybe or considering building like an agentic framework to this? Maybe you probably are building this already. So can you speak more to it?
So right now we're not developing or putting our effort on agentics based platforms. Right now it's very simple basic platform where we just develop this post processing method to improve the photographs. So maybe in future, in few years, we will go with that approach where we can just have that agentic just gives us some keywords or tag that I need this on this photograph, and then they automatically enhance those photographs.
Interesting. And as a director of ML, so what is your goal? So I heard definitely like, how can we improve the inference? So that's like understood. What else are you optimizing for?
Okay, so a couple of things. First is how we can develop in-house all these models.
Okay.
So that we can increase our revenues. And second, what are the other streams that we can target? Means new way to do these post processing, and then how we can reduce the cost of these models while inferencing or while training. So these are some of the challenges. And other thing is we are getting huge amount of data every month. Millions of images are coming inside. So this huge amount of data, how we can pick the right data sets to improve our models. A lot of photographs are like redundant. There are like a lot of things that in seasonal, how we can pick the data based on all these challenges that we have in balanced data sets with different backgrounds, with different color settings, how we can build different models with a good balance of data sets. So these are some of the challenges that we are facing.
That sounds, so can you talk about how you're solving this? Because this issue sounds really interesting.
Yeah, so there are different ways to solve different type of problems. So we are using active learning approaches, stratified sampling approaches, and then we also trying our different models to find that what type of data we need to further train our models depending on the uncertainty or depending on how models performing on those samples. So this is how we pick sample our data from our like whatever database we have.
Got it. Nice. And so can you talk a bit more about the storage and retrieval of the data? Because you have a lot of it, and then obviously you tag it, there's a lot of metadata. How do you approach it?
So right now we have some pipelines where we use existing models to find what are the images, what are the photographs we need to pick for the training, and what are the photographs we need to pick for editing, for creating the ground truth. So the existing model prediction is not accurate. So how we can pick those photographs and give it to the artist, and the artist manually label those photographs, and then we can use and improve our model performance. So we are using the kind of like active learning based approach with some artists in the loop, so that we can create those labels and then improve our models.
That sounds amazing. Thanks a lot for this. And so more generally, so you and your peers as directors of ML and AI in the photo editing industry, what do you think your priorities are? And you talked a little bit about this already. Within the next, let's say 6 months to a year, and how do you feel that Gen AI is influencing those priorities?
Okay, so in generative AI right now, the priorities are how we can catch up the expectation of the photographs. Right now, most of the AI models are Gen AI models. They are going 1K resolutions to maximum 2K resolutions. But in volume photography, these photographs are 4K or 8K resolutions. And then how we can develop models that can deal with this high resolution imaging. That's one of the challenges we are facing, and we are developing models which can run on high resolution images. Other one I mentioned already, that how we can create new experiences for the studios and photographers, where they can use AI to select which image is best, how we can increase the user experience in terms of like customization of the smile, face, expression, the background. These kind of like artists are innovative look in the photographs. So these are some of the areas where we are like we are spending our energies and efforts to create some value out of it.
Awesome. Great. And what do you think is, you talked a lot about like slightly inflated expectations of users and users of the AI technology. When do you think we will catch up?
In some aspect we already catch up, in some we are struggling. So I would say it's keep improving, because people expectations changing over time. What people expecting last year is not the same as today. So it's like kind of evolving fields, like both sides, AI improving and people expectation improving. So it's keep going like that.
Do you think there is a feasibility for like a mixture of experts model specifically for photo editing?
What do you mean by mixture of expert models?
So let's say one model is expert at like this set of improvements, right? And then the other is on that, and then you.
Okay, yeah, that's what we are working on that side.
Awesome.
So we can work on different contextual type of models, where if we need this type of color profiling, or this type of background, or this type of like editing, we can use these models. For portraits, or for group photos, or for individual photos with different expectations, indoor and outdoor, we are going to in that direction. So because one model to do all these variations is harder at this time, so we are basically targeting that how we can create different models for each specific vertical or each specific type of experience.
And maybe the last question I have for you, because so your use case is so specific, and this is a good thing, because for a very long time, maybe the last before Gen AI, a lot of times like directors of AIML, AIML leadership was removed from ROI. And now, like, and you are very close to it, because like it literally helps you sell more of the product. It helps you cut down the costs. How do you think about your impact in terms of like the business? So does it influence your KPIs in any way?
Yes, it is significantly impact us, because eventually company, they see how much we're investing in one vertical or one team, what value we will get at the end of that day. So definitely there's contributions. We keep monitoring our cost of building these models, the human cost, and then in terms of revenue, how much revenue we are generating with adding these values in a product.
That sounds awesome. I have all the questions that I have. This was like a great conversation. One thing that I really like asking is what people do you follow in Vision AI, and who would you recommend?
Okay, so I don't specifically follow one or two individuals. I just follow overall leaders, because every new years there are new leaders come in the industry. They are doing cool their work, doing their PhD programs, or doing their research at different institutes. For me, it's more important like what work is moving into the product, different products people are developing around with technologies. I'm just catching up those things. So for me, it's just following different like conferences like CVPR, and also following different research labs who are working on different areas like Google DeepMind, and then Meta, and then also from other small research institute. So they are working on different areas in terms of generative AI, not only in computer vision, but overall. Right now, our industry going towards multimodal AI, where there's not only one type of input, but there are multiple type of input streams going into the models and model behaving like that.
How that multimodality will happen to you? So, because this is a tongue-in-cheek question, because like your data is inherently multimodal, right? But do you feel like the overall expectation, and we already see that kind of happening with Firefly, for instance, it will be like text to editing interface, or where do you see this going?
This is a big opportunities right now, as right now the single models already doing very good, but now everyone exploring how we can add multiple stream of data to improve for the productivity of the products, as well as how we can get more value of it. So for example, in health, people are combining the medical images with clinical reports together to diagnose.
That's what we do with Bayer, for instance. Yes.
And then similarly in the self-driving car, there are different sensor data, LiDAR, radar, cameras, and then there are like other traffic data. They combine those data to make a good experience of self-driving car. Similarly, in other domains like in content generations, they use different type of content, textual and non-textual, to combine to create different reports or different blog posts. And same like in our industry, so right now we don't have any such application existing, where we use keywords along with images to play with. There are some on research side, but not only in real-time applications where you have a high resolution images and you using keywords or prompts to customize that image. So that's the area where in future we might go. Definitely we go, not might, we definitely will go in that directions where we can use some text and images together to create a better experience of photograph.
Awesome. We need to talk at next RetrieveX and review how the market has progressed over the next course of a couple of months. Thanks a lot for coming, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.